Hey, everybody. Thank you for chiming in. Those of you that are on my YouTube channel, Battles and Journeys, that's Battles, and Journeys, Journeys. Thank you for chiming in. We're giving a little time, giving you all a little time to come in. This is really impromptu. We did not plan to do this. It was not set up. It all fell in place. I can hear something in that background over there on that chair, but if y'all hear it, it's because somebody's sitting there and they're just looking through some work stuff. So, anyways, we're here. I'm here with my brother, Lorenzo Hart, the third, right?
The fourth.
The fourth. Oh, four. There's something powerful about the number four. And I know some of y'all are only dealing with 4 inches. But anyways, I'm trying to pull it together. Hey, Sharice. Yeah. And so we're so grateful. We're here in Palaca, Florida, just in case you're wondering where we are. And my brother just happened to be in Palaca at the same time that I'm in Palaca. I actually stayed an extra day to give people the opportunity, if they wanted to come visit me or see me for any reason. I stayed an extra day to give them that opportunity. I'm that kind of person. I am that. Those of you that are here, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for coming. That's COMING. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. I'm going to give a few more of you a time to come in. Me and this gentleman, just introduce yourself. Tell them who you are and where you live.
I'm Lorenzo James Hart, fourth. I live in Tampa, Florida.
Absolutely.
I was raised here in Palaca, Florida. And I was raised up under a ministry that was,
Maybe not even talk about that right now. We'll talk about it later.
We'll leave that alone, that part. But me, I have 2 boys, and then not only that, I had a beautiful wife, but that's another story with that.
All right.
But what we gonna chime in on, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening? We're gonna call this What's Happening. Some of you all are seeing we're streaming from on 2 different places and spaces and platforms. Here I'm on Facebook, and then I am on my YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, you can also go to the YouTube channel Battles, Battles, and Journeys, Journeys. And so we're appreciative. I am excited about what's happening. You know, we've been through some things in life, and sometimes there are people who don't get the opportunity to share. That's my brother. Hey, Leonard, it's either my brother or my sister, Net, or my brother Leonard. Doesn't matter because it's all one household. Sometimes we go through experiences, and everybody don't get the opportunity to come on a public platform to talk about some of the things that we've been through. Now, we've been through some similar things because we were young. I'm not too much older than you. Let's see, I'm 18 and you're what, 17? And so we'll just leave it as that. Anyways, and so we had an opportunity to kind of grow up and come up in the same church. Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something about, hey, nephew. Nephew Trey said, oh, Jesus. Hey, nephew. And we had an opportunity to come up in a church together, reclining chairs and telephones and sleep. And so this guy, he doesn't beat the drums, he played the drums. And so he is an awesome musician. He's a great drummer. He actually plays the drum. And so we are here, happen to be here at the same time. I said, hey, why don't we go live and let's just talk about a few things. Drink my apple juice. Hold on. Hey, Betty, can you pour me a little more apple juice or sweet tea? It's okay. You're my people. Family is here. We're all family here today. Yeah. I need a little more apple juice Praise God. Because what I'm getting ready to say, we're gonna need to clear our throat and make sure that our throat don't stay dry. Yeah. Yeah, just pour it. Thank you.
And Sister Betty, would you get me a little more in the mug? That's some good apple juice.
Oh yeah, that's enough. Thank you. Now you know I got that bidet in there. You can go ahead and finish.
I love that. That's what I'm here for. I ain't here for all of them, so I'm glad to get on that talk. What you say you need on?
It's in my mug on the table.
Now,
I
after
want some of that.
Trey said they don't like my belly. Let me tell you something. I got a lot of my moment now. You got a lot of your moment in you too. That's the side of you people don't want to see.
Right.
They like to see your daddy's side of you because you're calm, cool, collected. You don't have no toothpick in your mouth like your daddy used to have.
Right.
But that mama side of you come out, then that's the part of you. That's the part of you that they don't like. Yeah, you got the spirit of your mama. That's what they would say. We're clowning. We're family here. So listen. And so, Trey, how you doing? Trey done type Betty. I'm giving y'all time to come into this room. I'm here. I'm still here. I stayed extra. Just in case y'all wanted to come visit and just have a decent conversation. I love conversation, and I love to have intelligent conversations. Hey, Trina. It's good to see you. I love you. I love your family. I love your family. You know, when you were a little girl, I was just a little bitty boy. Hey, Trish. Oh, they go my people. They coming in. Come in the room. Come on in the room. Oh, come on in the room. Oh, Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all my prescription. Come on in the room. Oh, Trey, you're right. He said the saints are upset with the truth, scatter like roaches. It's okay. Trish said, hey, Patricia Johns.
Hey, how you doing, my sister?
She said, hey. Yeah, so we are here. And hey, Ed, hey, all you people coming in, thank you so much for chiming in. You can also run over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It is Battles, Battles, and Journeys, Journeys. And then there's a little sign there, a little symbol, a notification bell. Looks like a bell. Click that bell, go all the way to the top and hit all. So that way you'll get all the videos that I'm going to be sharing. And subscribe. I need about 1,000 of you to subscribe, and then I will be sharing some more information. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you it's been a minute since I've seen you.
Yes, sir.
It's been a minute because
yes.
I'm kind of in and out, but I just want the people to know that I'm here now.
Oh,
in case they want to take a drive over, ride over, skateboard, skate.
Yeah, just come on over.
Just come on through.
Bring it on.
We are here. Oh, Tracy, handcuffs, closed doors, lights left on, and the prostitutes things, money laundering, tax fraud. Oh my God, Trey. Betty, do you see Trey? Are you online? You need to go. Hey, Mary. Then he said, thank you, allegedly. Hey, Donella. And so we're here to talk about. I was trying, Betty, I was trying to be serious. The people on my YouTube channel normally see me extremely serious. And thank you for those of you that has chimed in. Some of you all have, the last time y'all, well, you know, a year ago you saw me, I was really distraught. Not only was I transparent, but I was also vulnerable about my experience. And sometimes people would become very angry at your experience simply because it involves someone that they love or someone that they
thought that they cared about them and thought that they was in the realm of God and showed love, but it wasn't love. It was only their ulterior motive.
Hey, Jasper, absolutely. Hey, Trey. Trey said, I'm sorry, I'm going back to prayer. Don't go into prayer. I need you to be on this live, Trey, because you have to be one of the intercessors, because Oh, I have ruffled. Listen, my story has ruffled some feathers, and some of the feathers were dead.
Hmm.
I have ruffled a lot of feathers with my story. Hey, Diane, and I have ruffled feathers with my story. Now, I'm not here. One of the things for me, the thing about it with me is if you, hey, DeAndre Sims, one of the things for me is I don't bother anybody. We don't bother people. My
Correct.
families are people that don't bother people. And what happens when you see us finally come out, hey, Bishop, I love you. Thank you for coming. One of the things that's Bishop James Bias, Apostle James. Remember James Bias?
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes.
Corbin was the one that helped try to run him out of the city too. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. I don't
Okay,
want you to do
okay,
that.
okay.
But he's a great man, and I appreciate him for coming on. And so, one of the things, our family, we don't bother anybody. We don't. When you see us come out swinging, it's because we got fed up of what they were doing to us privately. That's all. We get fed up from what they have done to us privately, gotten on their cell phones and telephone and just a little gossip circle to try to hurt you and harm you. So we don't bother people. It's when you see us come out, you be like, well, why are they coming out? Because secretly they've been doing stuff that we knew about. You didn't know about it. And so now we're coming out publicly about what they've done in private. That's all. So when you see me come out about my story, one, I was very tired of just holding it in. Let me tell you about. Can y'all hear me correctly? Can you hear me great? Can you hear me good? I'm sorry. One of the things about my story that tormented me was I wasn't able to tell it. I was trying to protect the people that did not protect me as a young boy, right? So it ate at me and it shut me down for many, 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 many years. I moved on. So I thought I moved on. I moved on in life and matriculated in life, moved away, got into Atlanta, somewhat what people will consider a success, whatever your definition of success is, because sometimes what people see as success, you're struggling. That's right, Trey. You said what's done in the dark in Palaca is coming to the light. What's covered up can never be healed. You have got, there go my brother. Oh, is that my nephew? Yeah, so I won't call you out unless you say something on here because I want you to know that I do want to protect your identity as well. If you say something on my YouTube, Facebook Live, then it'll show that you want to be, I'll acknowledge you. Other than that, if you're just watching me, some of you can watch from the timeline and it won't even show your name. I'm saying this to help you out so that you can protect. I know some of you you support me, but you support me privately. And it doesn't matter for me because as long as I know you support me, right? So a lot of times when we shut down about our story, it festers. It brings sickness and disease. Also, it will bring, and if not careful, you become angry, upset.
And you want to do something.
Absolutely. See, and hey, nephew. And so sometimes if you hold it in, it turns into something different. It turns into something that maybe perhaps the outcome won't be good. I forgot to go do not disturb on my phone, but I can't do it now. So it is always best to get it out, whether it's through a counselor or whether you choose to do it my way, like a platform. However, I am currently seeing a counselor for some of the things and the trauma that I have experienced in the same place that we were in under the guise of church and God. Yeah. And so I think we could really talk about a lot. We can't talk about everything in one setting, because it is so much to digest. And I think people will come to their own terms about their life and what they have experienced themselves. It is always better to have an outlet. whether that is through a counselor, a psychiatrist, because you know those are two different types of things, a psychiatrist, or somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to about your life and about your story. Hey, Oscar. Yes. And when we share our stories, it is helping a heck of a lot of people. Since I came out about my story, about what happened to me in the church, under the umbrella of the church at such a young age, the thing that they tried to cover up under that umbrella, I have received so many messages about people who have experienced some of the same things or worse than I've experienced. And it gives them strength. It gives strength to their vocal cords to start speaking out about what happened to them. Now, I'm only doing this not because I hate the church or I dislike the church, because there's some good churches out there. Go to Carl Flag Church. He's a good church. Go to Mount Calvary. That's a good church. If you're in Palaca, go there. Go over there to God Be the Glory Church. I love Pastor Linda Hall. They're great people. You hear me? And
Pastor Edmonds too. Pastor Edmonds.
Well, you know, I had to send him an email. That was years ago. You don't know nothing about it. It's okay. I'm not saying he's not a bad man, but he support the witch and the warlocks over there. So it's okay. I'm going to put it out there because they're scared of that woman for some reason. Won't y'all grow some balls, please?
You got to have the statistical 42. If you ain't got that, then go define what that means.
So it is important. Oh, Holy Temple. Yes, Patricia. I love Mother Bryant. Reach out and touch the Lord as he goes by. Oh, yes, Holy Temple and Pastor Beverly Crawford if you're in East Palaca. Gainesville. Yeah? So thank you. Yes. So these are the old saints. Well, when you share your story, then it helps other people it gives power to their voice. If I showed you my inbox about the people that have come forth to me and said, thank you for not only being transparent, but being vulnerable, because those are two different things. I showed the world my vulnerability. Now, I've never heard a weeping come from me like that. You've not heard it, but when I spoke to George Boomer for the first time, I cried like a baby. You'd have thought somebody beat me, because I don't even want to do it now because I can't stand and listen to it right now. But that's right. Landmark Holy Temple of God over there in Gainesville. Thank you, Trish, for helping me with that. So when you share your story and give power to speak truth to power, it really helps people. And there are so many people who have gone through so much abuse and so much trauma in their life under the umbrella of the church, especially the Black Pentecostal church, because we were taught to hide things. Let's cover it up. Let's not talk about it. You're going through something in your flesh or your sexuality. Let's not talk about it. We're going to put you on the altar. You call on Jesus. And when you get up, you still got your nature.
Foam out the mouth in order to have the Holy Ghost.
Yes. So you still come up with the same thing because your nature is what it is. And so we are so excited to be able to share our story and our experience. Now, let me just make this disclaimer. I do not care if anyone gets upset. And I find the people that don't want you to share your story, they're violators themselves, or they're trying to protect something. Yes, my moves. Yes, you said, I remember all of that. Hey, speak your truth. Hey, Roxanne, what's happening? Hey, Jimmy and guest and chat. Thank you for coming in. We just did this on a impulse, like it's impromptu. So I don't even know where to begin because we didn't plan anything. So I'm just going to talk. What I will tell you to do is Speak your truth. I don't care what they write about you, it's raining outside. But I don't care what they post about you. One thing about it, you cannot deny the truth. And people run from truth. And you church folks claim you like truth. You really don't like truth. See, the truth comes pretty and it comes ugly. What I'm sharing is an ugly truth of what happened to me at that church, Grace and Truth. I don't know why it's named that, because there's no grace and there's nothing truthful about it. And so, unless, if I was a son, then, yeah, he spoke to the saints and, they love him and they embrace him. You saw the clip. All I'm saying is be fair. I'm not against the church. I love my creator, but I don't like the system. I hate the corrupt system of the church. And when you speak the truth, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you or set you free. Yeah. People say they like the truth, but they like the pretty side of the truth. They don't like the ugly truth. When something is done to you or said to you, it is still the truth. It may be an ugly truth. They go, my sister, I love you. It is an ugly truth. People don't like the ugliness of the truth, but it doesn't change the fact that it is the truth. It is a truth that I'm dark and handsome. But it is an ugly truth that I've been violated. You cannot deny or change the truth into something that you want it to be. You know how many people have committed suicide because someone told them that they shouldn't feel the way they feel and have the attractions that they have? Do you know there are people who are really in the dumps because somebody from their family members supposed to be respected disown them because of who they choose to love? That's right, nephew. You said truth shines the light on erroneous and damnable evil. It is true. So you can't, because you upset, you can't change my truth. It's my story. This is my story. This is my song. It's my story. It's my song. And you can't dislike me because of my experience. I've always said, you can take a lot of things from us, Lorenzo. People can take your wife. They can take your cars. They can take your life. But one thing they can't take away from you, that is your experience. You've had it. They may not like it because it was a relative that put you through the pain and the trauma and the struggle of it all. And I'm telling you, the more you get upset, the more I'm going to really speak out about it. So it's kind of best for you to kind of just sit back, relax. Oh, look at this beautiful woman on here. I'm just going to say her last name is Lewis. She plays the piano. I love her. Teresa, why are you so beautiful? I just don't understand. I was a little baby boy when you was playing the piano, and you have always been beautiful. That's on my YouTube, Facebook. And so, well, that's true. You can choose your sin and not your consequences. But I'm here to tell you, you can't tell people how to live, and then you say you got power to deliver me from this, but your whole family is caught up in a rut. You see? So anyways, I brought Lorenzo on because we came out of the same church. And you were there. Let me just say this. You were a member there when George Bloomer came to the church.
Yes, I was.
Hold on. Let me get me some iced tea. I just got it in this glass. You were there when George Bloomer came to the church. And you remember what happened. And you remember the story. And I remember your daddy saying to me, he came to me. He said,
don't go nowhere with that man.
No, he said that to you. But he said to me, he said, don't say nothing. He said, but when that preacher walked in the pulpit, he said, God spoke to me and told me that man's life was not right. He said that to me. I shared it just a few days ago. I never talked about it. Him and Brother Baker was talking to me, but he said, I don't say anything. But when he walked in, immediately I knew something wasn't right. Now I wonder why the pastor couldn't discern that. Why curve Baal hell fails? Could not apostle, couldn't discern that. I would just wonder why. I just wonder why she couldn't discern that.
Because if you don't have that spirit of discernment, and you got the spirit of somewhat witchcraft or some other things that you're entertaining, you can't see what God wants. Because he say, behold to you, I will show you signs, mysteries, and wonders.
Oh, well, here we go. And so what I am saying is, you know, when people are so deep and spiritual and they say God shows them everything, because, you know, during that time, Corbell said God speaks to her for the people. And I remember her telling Marilyn, because Marilyn said, Sister Marilyn Fool said, God spoke to me. She said, no, God don't speak to you. God speak to the pastor for you, which is a damnable, erroneous, evil. It's a lie.
Yes, it is.
And so when you pretend you hear everything, or you're so deep, you're so wonderful, and you can hear and you know all in all, and you want to be all in all to the people. That's the first mistake when you become a God for the people or to the people, and you don't correct people when they try to worship you as God, right? So people like that that worship is false. They like to be reverenced. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be respected, but you're not reverenced as God. And you have to tell people that I'm not God. I'm human. I make mistakes and all of that. But when you don't share that with people and you pretend that you got it together, it's stuff like this that's coming out now, that's happening now. You're embarrassed because you pretended so long that you've done everything right, but refuse to go back and correct some things or say, I'm sorry that I did it, you know?
And we have so much that we can share about our childhood in this church. And I remember being prophesied over by this woman. Oh,
let's call names. No, we're gonna call names. We're gonna call names. We're not holding back names.
And I was prophesied, I see you behind gates. And people can speak so much evil on you. Now you can listen to me and you can, whatever you think right now, I don't care anymore. But guess what? It happened. But guess what? I learned what I needed to do. Leaning not on man understanding, but lean on God. And you pray to God for what you really want. You don't go to no man. A man can't put you in heaven or hell, as L.J.Hart would say.
Well, here's the problem. Because people speak those things to speak a curse over your life. That's the same lady that told me if I left, that they would be bringing me back in a
casket. And look at him. He's still alive today.
I'm alive and well. Oh, yes, I am. She said, and it was...
And I ain't going to jail.
And listen, it was... See, people speak those kinds of damnable evil. These are words. These are words of witchcraft to try to speak negativity over your life. Most of what we've been fighting is negativity, or negative speech. And what happens is when people speak it and you believe it, then that thing comes to pass. I never believed that I was going to die because I left. Well, listen, she didn't stop her grandchildren from going. You had Billy Boy, who I'm calling names, who went to Kentucky. You go to college, he changed his name from Willie Reynolds to Willie Fales, because he said he was going to bring back the fame to the Fales name since Reno had left Tallahassee playing football. And so, yeah, I'm calling it. I'm here. I'm still in Palatka. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
And I'm here too.
I actually stayed an extra day so that if you wanted to come by
and I'll be going too
and pay me a visit, I'm here. So anyways, so that didn't work. None of that worked for them. And so they speak negative speech, and most of what we have fought in our lives are negative speech. People speak negativity, and when we were younger, we had a tendency to kind of, oh, this is the woman of God, and it puts you into fear. It throws you into this whole nother space that it's really witchery, it's damnable, it's evil, right? So you believe it, and then what you believe or what you meditate on the most, it expands, it becomes a part of that. Hey, Jeanette, hey, Red. And so it is important that we sit under people who can speak positivity in our lives, not negative, because you don't want them to leave and you try to control them. You know, I heard when I left and Carol Baker left that they had a prayer meeting and they was praying to God, Lord, send them back. Send them back to the church. That's witchcraft. We left to grow. You know, and Corbell told her daughter that, you know, but since you left, I was going to give you the church, and now I'm going to give it to Kathy. And then cut her own daughter off from family functions. But, you know, she never really cared for Carol or anything that has come out of Carol's womb. But when you don't like your own child because you can't control them, then
it's a problem.
Man, it's impossible to be a good leader when you are not a good parent. See, we had good parents.
Oh, very good.
Hello. We had good parents.
Very good.
Yeah, we had good parents. My mother raised,
and not only that, it take parents the way that we were raised, that it take a person in a family that don't even know you, from when they come by, hey, you need something to eat. His mother, my mother would do it. My daddy would do it. If you needed something, you got it. You weren't talked about.
Our parents was great. My mother raised 8 children by herself, alone, 7 boys and a girl. My sister's the oldest. I am the youngest. And my mother my mother worked for everything she had. Everything. She didn't rely on people and people to, you know, bring her. My mother worked for everything. So let's talk about, you know, I remember your mother when she came to the church. I don't know why I hear you calling.
No, they calling my phone.
Oh, yeah. They're probably trying to stop you from going live. Hold on. You talk to the people. I'm going to go get your phone here.
Okay.
Just talk to the people.
And then I could tell you that being at this church, what happened with my mother and father.
Go ahead, read.
My mother and father was together as unity, as one. And a man that supposed to stay with his wife, he clean to her. But it was caused division between, because my daddy said, oh, this lady of God. And that caused ruckus with my mother, because she was trill. Not real, trill, if y'all know what it means. And yeah, she came round to your house when my daddy going over there, so-called praying with you or whatever. You know who I'm talking about, Corbell. And you caused so much ruckus, and it caused us to be divided where we is right now.
Yes.
With my siblings.
Absolutely. She divided your family because she basically controlled your household under the guise of God, saying you're supposed to listen to your leader. And I know you're upset. The reason I brought him on, because I know he's upset and has been upset for years, because this lady has caused so much has caused so much division in people's houses. I remember when she told us as children, well, come to the church, and if your family want to see you.
And you don't do nothing, come at my daddy And the way he ministered for you and the great things he did, you don't come there talking about no $3,000 shoes. Oh. And then on top of that,
but we got to tell them where that is, though, Lorenzo. Let's keep a line. I got to keep a little structure here. What Lorenzo is talking about is Corbell preached his father's funeral. And the only thing she could do, no, Trish. Corbell preached his father's funeral because his mother was in another church. And the pastor said, but I think he should preach it. She should preach it because that's his pastor. Y'all never wanted her to preach the funeral. That lady got up and turned that funeral into a circus. Y'all saw the video. Y'all saw the video of how she carried on at that other service. I know y'all don't like me, and I don't like you either. That was at a funeral, y'all. She was worse at his daddy's funeral. She said the hurt in your voice is breaking her heart. At his daddy's funeral, that lady turned it into a complete circus. The only thing she did was talked about her. I'm gonna tell you, I know because I was there. They did not want her to preach that funeral, but it was Gilbert Evans that told her to let her do it. And your mama said, well, how could she preach my husband's funeral? She hadn't even come to visit the family or brought anything to the family. So what did they do? They dropped off what?
They dropped off some
with some coleslaw and a case of sodas.
That's it.
She did that so she could preach the funeral.
Well, and then the next day, because I ran my mouth, and then it got out because I say my mama sick, and I'm taking my mama to dialysis, and on top of that, she got to deal with it. This the one that made sure everything was straight, so my mama wouldn't have to worry, and this the brother here that kept me in prayer, because boy, but that's over now. It's over. But this is this. What need to be told is this. When you hear something, don't come back and bring all the Sunny barbecue and all of that trying to make up for it when you know you was wrong. Because you should have did the right thing the first time.
From the beginning. When you do right from the beginning, you have to go back and correct anything. I was at that funeral.
He walked out.
And I'm going to tell you.
Because he was mad.
This lady, because she brought coleslaw and a pack of sodas so that she could preach the funeral. Because Sister Hart said, how can she preach my husband? Because she hated his mother. Now, Sister Hart didn't play. I was sitting there when Sister Hart knocked on her window looking for her husband. Because she kept that man out. She was not about family unless it was just her family. Well, after she did what she did to be able to preach the funeral, she gets up in the funeral and starts singing, the devil thought he had me. I got away. The devil thought she was at that family. She was singing at that family. And I'm going to tell you, that was probably one of the worst funerals, she's not a preacher. Oh God.
And if you would have saw the what my father has done for this community in Palatka, coming from Jacksonville, Florida. My father, it was the church was at capacity filled because he was a great man, and he instilled stuff in me, and I want to be just as great as him.
He was a great man.
And you come up there and everybody coming at the family saying, hey, why y'all let that woman embarrass y'all daddy like that? He didn't deserve it.
She was a clown.
And he didn't deserve it.
It was a disrespect. It was disrespectful. And she gets up there singing, the devil thought he had me. I got away. The devil thought he had me. I got away. It was a dish.
And I want to see y'all at the graveyard, and then I'll tell you the rest.
Let me tell you what she said. Because y'all was so hurt. I can tell you verbatim what she did. Because y'all gave her a time limit. It was either 20 or 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
They don't like time limits. And she said, and I'm waiting for the video because I want to be able to show it to you. She said she used the wrong terms, but I know what she meant. Yeah, they want me to be intelligent, but I don't know how to be intelligent. She told the truth because she doesn't know how to be intelligent, though. It's at a funeral, y'all. These babies are hurting. The wife is hurting. The wife didn't want her to preach it anyways, but her pastor said, well, do it because they scared of. They really were scared of her. Do it because, that was his pastor. So she gets up and she running around. That's why I wanted to do it, Trish. Healing. She said, let it out. She went to carrying and gyrating. But I see y'all looking at my shoes. But there's plenty more where these shoes come from. And when I got saved, she talked about herself. This lady got up in a funeral at his daddy's funeral, because she hates your family, and talked about herself.
And guess who what? I don't want to interrupt him. Guess who I wanted to preach the funeral? Him. He knew my daddy.
And I would have done
He would have did a Gucci. That's the sign. I know he would have did.
But I'm going to tell you something she did. See, y'all can't keep taking up. See, her family and all that, they keep taking up for this foolishness because she's a clown and she turns whatever service she's in into a circus.
I'm sorry, Patricia. I'm sorry.
No, Patricia want you to be here. She said it. She said, look what she said. She said, my mind is blown right now. She said,
I'm going to be okay, Patricia.
No, she wants you to be okay.
Keep me in prayer.
This has been a lot of anger and backed up stuff that this lady has done just throughout the years to your family, and then get up at your daddy's funeral and then turn it into a circus. She said, I don't know how to be intelligent. Now, she did tell the truth. Now, I don't know much truth that she tells, but that truth she told.
She did.
And I wish I had the video now. I'll show the people exactly what she said. Then she said, oh, but yeah, they gave me a time limit, but I guess she got to hear the rest of it in the car. That lady slammed her mic down. Any preacher that preach a funeral is supposed to greet the family. That lady took her purse, threw her head up, wouldn't even look at the family, and walked out the door. And you a pastor? You want somebody to follow you? And you okay? Your members and your family, now they know it's wrong, but you want them to be okay with how you carry on at a funeral. She has taken every platform to turn it into herself. And I was upset because she turned a funeral. Hey, Mookie, she turned a funeral into a circus. It was horrible how she funeralized your father and disrespected your family. But yeah, one of the things she did say, yeah, L.J.Hart loved the church. She never said he loved his wife. She made sure she never made mention of your mama. Never. This is the kind of travesty that we came under the guise of a church and a pastor and leadership. It's horrible. Mookie said, tell my uncle I love him. It's horrible.
I love you too, baby.
It's horrible. People have been traumatized. All of us that has gone to that church has been traumatized. I told you I was going to bring some people on. I didn't know Lorenzo was going to be here. Told you I was going to bring people on from that church to witness.
And he ain't lying about nothing.
Nothing. I would never tell
He ain't even got a lie about it.
Yes, Mr. Sims, this is deep. This lady has caused so much trauma and people protecting that. And I get it. Her family, grandchildren, but now they already know how evil she is. But I get it. It's your loved one. Yep. And so you want to protect them.
I couldn't play basketball or run track or whatever, but Roy, Roderick, yeah, I'm calling names. Roy, Roderick, Willie Fells, BJ, and all of them, they could go play at Lamar Carr or whatever.
Yeah.
And then guess what? We couldn't do nothing.
And now
and we used to get a whipping. with my daddy. My daddy was so strict with the church.
Because
that
of
lady.
what she said. And you call Lamar Carter. Lamar don't even serve the same God she served. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, he served all of them.
Isn't that amazing? How your grandchildren you don't represent God enough for them to even serve the God you say you represent. Because they've seen all the trauma and oh my God, isn't that deep? Grew up in the house, but don't serve the God that you say because they saw all of the stuff.
And I ain't apologizing for nothing to none of them out there that's who listening online. This my brother for life. And then one thing, don't get it twisted. Ain't no lies out of here what went on in that terrorizer.
Yes.
Or whatever. And it wasn't grace and truth. It should have been
false and nothing.
Exactly.
It should have been no grace and false.
Because you're wrong when the way if you controlling people and it's a form of witchcraft. But when I went to the city, that's when I got sent.
Me too.
I became wise.
When I went to Atlanta,
and I got strong.
That's when I saw real life. And that's when I understood God on a whole nother level.
Yep.
Because, they would teach this, that, and the other. And it was and you hear a preacher, let me tell you about me. Always ever heard was about her. And when she wanted to control you, she would structure a message around you. If she wanted to talk about rebellion, she talked about rebellion for a long time. If she couldn't get you to do what she wanted you to do.
Yep.
It's toxic. It was a toxic environment.
And on top of that, do you know when I tried to play sports, this what happened. And my brother Roscoe, I stayed with over there right off of 9th Street in Palaca. And I made the basketball
team.
On
8th Street. That witch is on 9th.
No. Oh. Roscoe stayed right around the corner.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he gave me an opportunity to stay with him so I could play sports, athletic or whatever, but they could go to the football games, the basketball games, and baseball games. They could do sports, not us. Oh, that heart, all of this, we were looked down upon.
She wanted her family to live, but wanted our lives snatched.
And y'all need to know that. And yes, I said it, Corbell Phelps.
Look who's here. Do you remember Prophet Grimes?
Yes, I do.
That's her daughter right there, Gail Grimes. She remembers. She lives in Atlanta. We went to the same church, Nathan Simmons Church. Now, Nathan Simmons was a preacher. That's when I learned to hear real preaching. I didn't hear him get up there. Let me tell you about me. And I know y'all don't like me. And I don't like you either. I heard real preaching. I remember Gail telling me, she said, my father told me. You remember we stopped seeing Prophet Grimes. She said, my father told me that lady is something else.
Yep. And you know what my daddy told me? And let this be known for the record before he died. And y'all left my daddy out there in that nursing home and supposed to come pick him up for church. Lady of God.
Because they couldn't get no more money from him. They couldn't get his
And y'all left my daddy out there in a damn wheelchair. Now, I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. Talk about it. Get your frustration out.
You left my daddy out there. You know who had to get him back in there? Me, my mama, and my sisters.
But it wasn't a Tanya sister.
And it wasn't grace and truth. Care about no damn Sunny barbecue. You should have gave him all what he paid tithes for on y'all ass. And he used to give a giving offering to y'all. Leave it alone if you know like what's best for you. I ain't scared of none of you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, don't be sorry. I need you to get this out because you've never had an opportunity to really, you talk about it, but I'm telling you, people are seeing you from all over. They need to hear. They need to know.
This man had went to a prison ministry and all. I used to be with him as a little boy and grow up. And I used to see how he cried when the division started with me and not him and my mom. Division when he went to that church. And she went to another church because she had to call the lady out and said something wasn't right. And yeah, they used to call her a home wrecker. And she broke our home up.
Well, before she got saved, she done wrecked a lot of homes. And some of them done wrecked.
And I don't want to call the other thing that I want to say.
Say it. I want you to say it. You
Hey, God bless my auntie soul, the biggest whore in Tampa.
What happened? I missed it.
She told me, she say, Corbell, oh, that's the biggest whore in Tampa. Sleeping with the man across the street.
We ain't gonna talk about the women.
Well,
we'll just stick to the men today.
Okay,
they got a long line of lesbians in their family.
Oh, yeah.
And she always getting up preaching against lesbians. Start with your daughters. Let's start with Ronese, and then we go on to Nicole. And then go on to some of the not Nicole, novice, not novice Nicole novice.
And I don't care. And come at me if you want to. Any of y'all. Illy boy, any of y'all, whatever you want.
Oh, you know, they all have barks, but no bite. Only thing they can bite is a pillow when they got something.
Oh, up their ass.
This is when I need Betty to come on in because I need to go ahead and.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, Patricia. I'm sorry.
No, you got to tell it. Hey, Charlene, people need to know that.
I know they say I'm
what you
crazy.
said, Sims, you said lesbian. It's deep. And you know, I don't have a problem. Listen, bitches, be who you are, but stop pretending that none of this is in your family. Stop trying to call out everybody else's family.
Yep.
Oh my God, Gail. All right, so Gail Grimes, you know, Prophet Grimes.
Yeah.
Name a song that he was singing. Let me hold you in the home. Almighty God. Almighty God. You're mighty. Almighty God. If you hold me in the palm of your hand. Now, Gail said, Mookie said, I used to sit on the porch and call y'all out. Listen, Gail said, Gail Grimes, I want this to be the record. Look right at me. She said, after my dad left that church, when he used to come and preach, she said he apologized to his family in Ocala for abandoning us. She said she always wanted to know what happened to her father at Grace and Truth when he would come and visit and preach. That's right, Sims. They don't like this kind of teaching.
And they finna get a little more. You want some more?
Wait.
When they saw one of my daddy's sisters that came, when they saw, and she saw that lady say, that's an evil.
We gonna call names.
Corbell. She said she was evil.
It's the truth.
She said something ain't right about that lady. They cuckoo. And she said she was talking about my father. I wanted to tell my brother he needed to get from under that church.
It has been nothing but a long line of witchcraft and control. It's been a long line of witchcraft and control. And you know what? Believe it or not, she still got people tricked.
Yeah.
These people won't think for themselves, but you know, they're already lost. And the people that got away could get away. We got away. And she still for some reason, hates us.
Yep.
Because she couldn't control us.
But she got going around saying that we hate her with my sisters and all. And I say, I'm past her.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking her to court.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she's going to look good in blue or orange, whatever color, because she likes colors. And she can dance in that. But it'll be in chains.
Exactly.
It'll be behind bars.
Well, they done had us in chains and shackles for years.
I'm trying to tell you, it's been a mess. And some of you have said to me, I never knew that you experienced that. I never knew just the way you carried yourself, because I had to harbor all of this stuff and live with it. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I wanted to overdose.
Yep.
And I could not tell my mother, because my mother would have whipped it.
Oh yeah.
But my mother used to tell me, she said, I told you, son, everybody ain't say who they are. They're not really who they say they are.
Hey, when I used to come get him, we walked to church. She used to say, Ranza, I don't even know why you going to that church. That's what, you remember that?
But I know she understood. She said to me, she said, I didn't bother you because at least I know you weren't in the streets. Yep. She said, I knew you were at church.
But I know
that lady don't. Let me tell you, Corbell don't respect nobody but herself. She don't even respect it. I don't know. She don't respect nobody. You know who she didn't respect? Greg Whitehead.
That's the one.
That's the only
killed.
Man who got killed. That is the only man she's ever respected in her church.
Yep.
After that, it was a wrap. She never respected any other man. And I'm wondering why she has such hatred against men and love for such women.
Yep. She did love Gregory Whitehead.
She brought all women preachers in to preach.
Yep.
I wonder why. But why? Why she brought in so many women?
And then even Sister Lily Bell came and said, son, let me tell you something. She said, she ain't right. When she heard the way that lady talked at my dad, even Sister Lily Bell McCaster, assistant pastor, and she was real.
Betty, can you brought me some more iced tea? Yeah, she was. Sister Lily Bell was a real. She really should have been the pastor. And the thing about it is, they turned against her at the end because they did not like the idea that she would still communicate with people that left the church. Corbell Springer, we out. Look down in that cabinet. I got some more iced tea down there. When you left her church, she cut you off and have the people to cut you off. They didn't speak to you in public. Witchcraft, control. She tell people, oh, they didn't like us.
And then she tried to make and take the fame for Beverly Camp Crawford.
Oh, you remember that?
Are you? So I guess I'm dumb.
You remember that? I just mentioned it on my. I know you didn't hear. I just mentioned it.
Battles, come on, man.
She turned against Beverly Crawford. She told me out of her toothless mouth. She gummed it out.
She tried to take the fame of that lady. Beverly Camp Crawford. And then when Beverly husband intervened Todd, so you would know what I'm talking about, he said you need to leave them people there alone.
Let me tell you something. When she went on Bobby Jones, I talked about this. When Beverly Crawford, Pastor Beverly Crawford, now, oh my God, we used to eat crabs together. Oh,
sweet lady.
Let me tell you something. Man, I pray for those days to come back. Trish, I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna tell you. When Beverly, right in that first one, it's pink. The very first one in that first draw, Betty. When Beverly Crawford went to Bobby Jones interviewed her. Bobby Jones said, well, how did you get your start? And she talked about her daddy. Everybody know Bishop Walter Camps.
Oh, yeah.
Always did the tip.
Oh, yeah.
Right on the counter over there, Betty. I'm sorry, I'm giving the instruction. There's a opener right there on the counter. Everybody know that it was Bishop Walter Camp. He did tents in Palatka. He was very popular. You got miracles and healings and deliverance, or what have you. So
and
when
the camp sisters.
yes, and when absolutely, I miss them. When they just lost to Sister Marilyn, I believe. She just
Oh man, not pretty.
but all of them.
No, all of them pretty, but that's the one I had a crush on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I had a crush on her.
When Bobby Jones interviewed Pastor Beverly Crawford, they asked, "How did you get your start?" And she was talking about, and then her favorite preacher was do you remember
It's
Betty Jean Hudson? That was one of her favorite preachers. And that's where she kind of took up her. You can't answer while we on live though, but hold on. Who is this? It's the same number. Praise the Lord. Hello. All right. So, anyways, they didn't say anything. So, anyways, Cora Bell saw it, and she told me, "Yeah, I saw Beverly," and she said, I'm washing my hands of her, and I'm not going to deal with her anymore because I saw her on Bobby Jones, and they asked her how did she get her start, and she didn't mention my name.
Child boo.
They've been in the camp sisters have been camp sisters
way for her.
Everybody knew about Bishop Walter Camp. You get mad at Beverly because she didn't mention your name on the Bible. Yeah, she didn't recognize me, and I was the one that gave her start. Lady, go somewhere and lay down with some black roses. I'm about to buy some. Thank you, Betty. Cousin Betty's here. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. You heard me? I say thank you.
Yes, right, Trish. Greg was killed in a car accident.
Yeah.
You know what's unique about? Yeah. Yeah, he used to work at Chicken Charlie's, a Charlie's Chicken. And I'm gonna tell you that time, Greg was going to Gainesville, and it was on a Saturday, and he told me he asked me to go with him. He used to drive the Z28.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah, he had the Mazda,
but
he traded in from a Mazda to a Z28, and he said, "Battles, why don't you go with me?" And blah blah blah. He said, "I'm going to Gainesville. We coming back." And I said, "Okay, just meet me at the occult church." I mean, I didn't call it that then, but it's that now. Meet me at the church. I said, "I'll just meet you up there. And we can go to Gainesville." Well, I came to my mama's house and fell asleep. Greg went on to Gainesville. The next morning, we found out Greg got killed in a car accident. Can you imagine if I had been with Greg? I would have been dead, which is what they prophesied. They really, and probably still sitting there now on their knees praying for me to die. But I'm not going nowhere no time soon. I'll be at your funeral.
No.
I have no intentions of going anywhere. So I would have been gone because it was a Z28 and he had a head-on collision with a semi-truck. A semi-truck
took his head off.
He crossed, but the semi-truck crossed over.
He kept doing all kinds of stuff. He was tired.
Yeah.
He kept trying to drive.
And he grabbed a donut. They said, and he had a donut that he grabbed. He looked up and saw the truck. The truck driver was intoxicated and crossed the lines. And that semi-truck and that Z28 collided. I'm so grateful, but that's the only man she ever. I wish they would bring chicken charters back. I want some yellow rice and some of that biscuit and that chicken. You remember chicken charters?
Oh, Lord of mercy. Don't it make you shout?
But anyways, that's the only man she ever respected. And so I can talk about it freely because I was there. I was in her house with all the roaches, all of that. I was there.
Me, Michael Tripp, yourself, and others. Who was the other one?
I don't know. But one thing I do know, Lorenzo, me and Lisa Tillery used to be like this.
Y'all was very close because y'all used to do the duos
everything
together.
We would drive together.
Yeah.
I love Lisa. But at that time, she was going with Bernard Lofton, the musician that went to prison.
Yes.
Well, she told me, she said, well, you know what, Battles? I am going to join the military because I'm not going to let my mama control me like she's controlling the rest of them. Can you imagine somebody would rather join the military and fight a war and then sit under the control of their mother.
Yep.
Oh God. Hey Tyra. Hey Nikki. Anything else you want to share with the people? Lorenzo, we done talked about the funeral and how your mother, how Cora
Only
failed.
last thing I got to share with you is this here. Don't never let nobody take you against your family.
Jesus Christ, yes.
And your family is all you got. Regardless of what situation it is, family is all you got. And family sometimes ain't just a bloodline. Family is here right now.
Absolutely. People that you build a bond with.
And then people get it twisted and think a certain way about certain things because guess what? They can't get close like that.
Absolutely.
So tell them I said, Gucci.
But anyways, it is true. She has always found a way to try to divide families. It was never a message to preach on. You know, the first institution and the strongest institution that God ever put together is family. When you see someone tearing the family apart, you tell people, come, if as a family or husband and wife, if the only time you spend together is in church, something is wrong. If somebody's having church services and keeping you in church and you don't have personal time with your family members, it's wrong. And then when you miss church, what do? They'll send somebody around there
and be knocking at your door, talking about, are you still saved?
Yep. And you remember Sister Betty used to ride in her station wagon. It would be all smoking.
Yeah.
She ain't riding no more. Where is she?
She dead.
Okay. And so she would ride, and I love Sister Betty.
She was sweet.
I loved her. She would ride around and she would go back and tell the pastor what car she saw at somebody's house. It was always this, we keeping an eye on you.
Yep.
It's like a watchdog kind of church. And if you don't come to church, well, why you didn't come to church? But they want your tithe. They want your offering. I know somebody right now. I ain't calling no names. I can talk about stuff that's going on right now. However, Cora Fails just recently told your daughter, yeah, you got the spirit of your mama.
Tanya.
Yeah, she just told Tanya that. Because your mama they couldn't control your mama. Right. Now they kind of controlling Tanya because she's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Exactly.
And she's running behind those people, trying to be validated by these people. But they don't even accept her because they see her as your mama.
Exactly. And Tanya, I want you to know, don't get it twisted.
She's
that junk, what you were saying, talking about people, you went that battles and talking about the people of God.
She's not.
Ain't nobody no people of God if they act like that and they want division between family.
But you know, she met with her church Sunday. You know, she told the people, not this Sunday. Well, let me say this. She told the people, don't listen to him. And if you listen to him, that means you're for him. You see that manipulation and control? You telling your members not to listen to the lies of the YouTube. But just the mere fact that you told them not to do it, they are going to do it anyways. Listen, it has been a great day. Me and Cousin Betty's coming on soon. Listen, there's another half. There's part 2 to this. I wanted Lorenzo. Let me ask you this, Lorenzo. Literally. First of all, what would you say? I want you to look in these cameras. There's one. You can look here and look right here in that camera. What would you say? Give something that you would say to the people that are part of a church, and some of the things we already talked about, what to look out for and what to run from. What advice that you would give to a person that have gone through trauma from leadership? Because it was never the members that we had. Did you have any issues with members?
Nope.
It was always what?
Leadership.
It was the leadership. Always.
And this what I would say. Be careful about the leader and what they say and the rhetoric they sell. Selling to you. And not only that, go study to show your own self approved. Read God's word. Reach out to God. Get on your knees and pray for yourself. Because sometimes when they praying on you over there in that altar, it might be a good prayer.
Well, they are PREYING, meaning they are hoovering over you, trying to control you. Yeah. So I learned my lesson, and I'm going to cry from the mountaintop that this place. Listen, if you're in Palaca, Go over to the Calvary Baptist Church. They got a good preacher over there.
Exactly.
I love the Reverend Demps, but they got a good preacher over there.
Yeah.
Go to Reverend Carl Flagg.
Yeah.
You know, and Gilbert Evans got a little structure over there.
Exactly.
But he need to grow a little balls too because he's scared of Corbell.
Right.
Well,
right.
But I mean, I don't know much about him. And then go over to if you're in Gainesville, go to Holy Temple over there, Pastor Beverly Crawford and Todd Crawford. Go over there. I mean, go to some place that's going to feed you and not give you garbage.
They make you feel whole.
Yeah.
And when you come out there, you feel some like a burden or something to
lift it off of you.
Exactly. Not like nothing imposed on you.
Let me tell you what happened to me. When I moved away from Palaca and I went to Atlanta, I like this kind of stuff because I really want to do a talk show. When I moved away from Palaca, Florida, many years ago, about 30-some years ago, and I went to Atlanta, and I went to a church I'd never heard of, but Gail Patterson told me about the church. You remember Big Gail?
Oh, yeah.
Now,
she loved, you know she loved me.
Yes. Now, she's a little linebacker.
Yeah.
But
oh, Lord.
I love her. I mean, I love her. And so, she's sweet. Look right at me. That's where I get that look right at me.
Yeah.
How many believe what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she told me, she said, go to Nathan Simmons Church. She didn't tell me the name of the church. I got to Atlanta and I started riding around, Google Nathan Simmons or whatever. I can't remember because I didn't really have a phone then.
Right.
I don't know. But she said, it's all for Martin Luther King. I found this church. And I promise you, for the first time ever in my life, when I walked into this church was the first time I really felt welcome. They had greeters at the door. They didn't know you, but they act like they did. They said, welcome to the Citadel of Hope. And they embrace you and love. They said, thank you for coming. And then when you got to the doors to enter into the church, they was loving all over you. I felt this strange because people in that church didn't love the hug on you. They didn't hug you and greet you like that. And I tell you, it changed my life. I thank God. Now, the man is dead and gone. I thank God for Pastor Nathan Simmons. He instilled a lot in my life. I learned a lot from Nathan Latson, Corey, Alexander Simmons III. That was my pops. It was finally great that I had a male structure in my life in the church. Now, I'm not against female pastors, but I do think you should have a husband that would help you pastor. I would never, ever just sit under. Well, anyways. But, yeah, so I embraced that.
When you sent that, when you told me on YouTube to pull that up, and I pulled that man
that
up,
makes sense.
It started being just a difference in my life.
Let me tell you something. That Nathan Simmons was the real deal. And I had never heard anybody preach like that because, you know, where we came from, it was, yeah, let me tell you about me. You know, it was just always that. It was never really any real preaching, right? So, and then when I laid eyes on him, I said, thank you, God, for sending me here because it brought structure in my life. And I'm appreciative to it. Every church ain't bad. And every bad experience.
And he well groomed you.
Oh, yeah. And every bad experience doesn't mean you got to jump up and leave. But you should bring these leadership into accountability. You should. Listen, I'm a church boy. I've always been in the church. But now I don't fool with most of you because you will support and you would perpetuate foolishness, such foolishness as we've seen, right? Oh, God. Jesus. All right. I love y'all. Lorenzo, thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you. And we have a whole lot to talk about. That's just a snippet of what we could talk about. Now, if you care to cash out me, you can. I don't run from that. If you feel led to, by the way of the Spirit, send me a look, whatever. Go to your cash app, $ and my name, $ Jimmy, Jimmy, Battles. My move said I would never join another church. I don't blame you. I really can't. I can't blame you because there's so much trauma and people hide. They don't want the truth to be heard. This is why all her family's going into uproar. Oh, I'm trying to protect my grandmother. You can protect her from physical things. There's nobody trying to hurt her physically, but you can't protect her from the law. Didn't Bill Cosby? He was 84, right?
And he still went on.
Yeah, he sure did. And that's what we are endeavoring and doing today.
Exactly.
To send them on up their way. I'm pressing on the upper way.
It's just as my story.
I'm trying to tell you. So if you would like, you can cash out me. Dollar sign, I'm gonna put it in my those of you that are on my YouTube, dollar sign JIMMYBATTLES. Whatever you want. It could be a penny, 5 cents, 3 cents. Doesn't matter. I'm not really asking for anything. There are people that said we want to give because we know this is good. I can really come on here and teach and give you stuff that, but I want to share my story. And if you got a story to tell, tell it. If you got a story that you want to share, share it. Create your own YouTube channel and share it. All right. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. God bless you. And may heaven smile upon you, as the church could say. And I really mean that. And if you're a part of a church that is controlling you and manipulating you and trying to control your life and who you can be with and who you can talk to, get out of there. Find you somewhere else to go. If you can't find anywhere else to go, go home. Hit like, subscribe, go to my YouTube channel, Battles and Journeys, BATTLES and AND, Journeys, JOURNEYS, and hit that subscribe button, hit like, there's a notification bell there, and then you can go ahead and hit all so that you get all of the videos.